Stop celebrating Christmas and Easter. They are satanically inspired. It is a pagan idol celebration. And Jesus Christ himself warned in the book of Revelation 2 from verse 14 to 15 that people should not celebrate all these pagan celebrations. Let's see the book of Revelation. Revelation 2 verse 14 to 15. But I have a few things against thee, because thou hast them there that hold the doctrine of Balaam, who taught Balak to cast stumbling block before the children of Israel, to eat things sacrificed unto idols, and to commit fornication. Verse 15. So hast thou also them that hold the doctrine of Santa Nicholas, that is the Nicolaitans, which thing I hate. Nicolaitans, Santa Nicholas. Jesus warned here, he forewarned that people should stay away from the deeds of Santa Nicholas, the Yuletide. Santa Nicholas, Nicolaitans, that is where the name was derived from. Santa.
Does the Bible really mention Santa Nicholas? In Revelation chapter 2, verse 14 to 15. Let's open the Bible to check it out. So, Revelation chapter 2, verse 14 to 15 says, Nevertheless, I have revealed things against you. You have people there who hold to the teachings of Balaam, who taught Balak to entice the Israelites to sin by eating food sacrificed to idols and by committing sexual immoralities. Likewise, you also have those who hold to the teachings of Nicolaitans. You can see the word Nicolaitans, not Santa Nicholas. Yes, sir. Then verse 16 says, Repeat thereof, otherwise I will soon come to you and will fight against them with the sword of my mouth. So you can see in verse 15, the word actually is Nicolaitans, not Santa Nicholas, as the man clearly says. So what is the instruction in verse 14 and 15? Simply condemning those who follow the doctrines of Balaam and the doctrines of Nicolaitans. These doctrines simply involves eating foods offered to idols, sexual immoralities and the likes. And Jesus is telling them how detestable they are to eat, and for the fact that they are indulging in some of these actions, thereby rejecting his instruction, thereby rejecting God's law. So that is what Revelation chapter 2 verse 14 to 15 is talking about. It's not talking about Christmas, whether or not it is pagan or it is fashion around someone or a figure called Santa Nicholas. But since he mentioned Santa Nicholas, so who actually is Santa Nicholas? Definitely is not a biblical figure like this man claims, which makes him a liar. So who is Santa Nicholas? Santa Nicholas was a Christian bishop in the 4th century that gives gifts to the needy and the poor during that century. He was known for that, and which by history later on was adapted into commercials of giving gifts during Christmas Day, that is common in this present age. But the name Santa Nicholas was a 4th century Christian bishop. It was not any character or any individual in the Bible, as this man claims. The doctrine of Nicolaitans and the doctrine of were those detestable actions and behaviors that people of them are indulging in, which contradicts God's instruction. And Jesus in Revelation chapter 2 verse 14 and 15 and 16 was actually warning the church about them. Then now, at the opening of the statement, he made mention of Christmas being a pagan religion. He actually made another error there. Notice how he made such claims without backing it up at all with any evidence. So for instance, he says Christmas is a pagan religion. No. Christmas has been celebrated since early 2nd and 3rd century. And all of these Roman pagan festivals that they claim that was celebrated in December 24, majority of them actually came late in the 4th and the 5th century. So when you mention the Victinicus, the Brahmamalia and the likes, all of these come in the 4th and the 5th century, way back. And Christmas has been celebrated in the 2nd and 3rd century. In fact, there are other historical facts that are dated way earlier than that. So it was because the Christian being the fastest growing religion at that time. So the Roman worshippers, the Roman pagan worshippers, now deducted a way. They now formulated a way in such a way that they will bring their festival down to December 25. Christmas has always been celebrated way before any of these festival come into existence. So because Christians is now the fastest growing religion, and these pagan worshippers are now struggling with members because they are losing members fast, so they moved some of these their festival to December 25, hoping it will counter the growth of Christianity. So it was actually the big pagan worshippers who changed the date of their festive period and begin to December 25. It was not the other way around. Christians didn't adopt December 25 in order to counter them, as the case, as people are claiming. It was actually the pagan worshippers who brought their date, they fast forward, bring it to December 25.